So my name is Jean. First of all, thank you very much, Stephen, for the help. It's going to be a game changer for us. It's going to be transforming probably our business, even though we've been around for a little while. And welcome, Nicolas.
Thank you, Jean.
You want to have a seat?
Perfect. Where's the clicker?
Clicker.
All right. So let's dive
Let's
in.
kick it off. Yeah.
So DeepSight, we're a technology-based company leveraging augmented reality to help company create work instruction to empower their workforce and transfer their technical knowledge, mainly in the manufacturing and industrial sector. Today, we employ 14 employees full-time. We are based out of Montreal, Quebec, founded in 2018, and just recently celebrated 5 years in business. The first few years of our development was meant to develop the product, validate the technology, but in the recent months, we've been acquiring 2 new customers per month, so we are seeing tremendous momentum and growth to the company. What we do is we have developed a suite of tools that enables companies to create work instruction in augmented reality, so 3D assets, to transfer it to their workforce and then measure the impact of it directly in real time. The way it works is a 3-in-1 SaaS licensing platform, so we have 3 modules that enable companies to do it themselves. The first one is our studio. It's a web-based, no-code authoring platform where companies bring their CAD models, images, videos, sort of like a PowerPoint for augmented reality, where you're going to build and construct your procedures and instruction guides. Once that work is done, we transport it to the real world, either on smart glasses, tablet, or smartphone. And this is how the employees, the operators, visualize their instruction. While they're doing this, we are capturing metrics such as time spent per step, answers to questions for evaluations, traceability. We're capturing photo, videos, so we have a real-time assessment of what's happening on the workforce and on the work plant. All that is transported to our console, which is sort of an analytic dashboard where the gestionnaire, managers can visualize this content and take real-time decision for continuous improvement and continuous learning of their workforce.
All right, so we've structured a business so that we align our offering to either direct clients in the food industry, in the pharma industry as well, because these industries are highly regulated, requires well-trained people, and we want to do this as well via a series of partners. That's my role essentially, is to build this network of partners that knows inside out the food industry, so it can help us, not only deploy the technology, but also improve processes, efficiencies within the organization, the food organization or pharma organization. And obviously, we need some technical partners. We have a relationship with Microsoft HoloLens as a device that allows you to see 3D holographic components in the lens, overlay a real equipment on a factory floor. You can see this also on an iPad or an iPhone. And eventually, very soon, we received it yesterday, on what they call Apple Vision Pro head-mounted display. Maybe you've heard about that small company called Apple. And we have recently been chosen by a company, another one, probably that you know, called IBM. IBM has a technology that exists for many years called Watson X technology. And we have embedded their, what they call text-to-speech. So instead of having someone to read instruction, work instruction, they hear it. All right? In French, English, Spanish, 21 languages. All right? And The person can talk to the helmet. So it's going to translate whatever they say in words. And eventually, we will be able to ask questions and leverage what we call, maybe you've heard about that, the generative AI stuff, all right? So, hey, DeepSight, can you get me the technical drawing of line 503? So the machine's gonna go get the technical drawing so the maintenance person can look at the technical drawing and fix the machine or help him fix the machine. So that's the partner network, because I don't think we can do all this all by ourselves. So that was a strategic decision that we made at the beginning. So now the problem, and you touched on the problem. What is the problem that we're trying to solve? Is obviously the work shortage in factory floor. We're aiming directly at, I'll call him Jean-Guy. Maybe you've heard about him. Jean-Guy is retiring in July 24. He's been in the factory for 36 years. He never had time to transfer his knowledge to new people coming in. What he does is he does it very well. He's been doing it the same way for 30 years. Might not be the best way, by the way, but he's been doing it for 30 years. The factory floor, the factory, the machine, the equipment runs well. But when he's going to leave, probably there's going to be a gap between the time he's leaving and the new people coming in to be able to start a production line at 6 o'clock in the morning so the company can produce goods on this specific manufacturing line. So what we're doing is we're helping Jean-Guy transfer his knowledge by capturing his knowledge electronically. We'll put him a head-mounted display on his head. We'll have him do whatever he does. We'll capture what he does. We'll convert that into steps, instructions with 3D holographic. So like pull the trigger. So he's gonna see the trigger moving so he can pull the right trigger at the right moment in the right steps, all right? So that's what we do. That's what we're aiming at. And essentially we're converting, binders, Post-its. I've seen Post-it on machines. That was stick by Jean-Guy. So we remember, step 66 is pull the whatever knob or turn the knob, right? So we're converting all this into corporate intelligence, one place, one version of the procedures, one version of the SOPs, so that companies that has multiple plants, that has the same equipment in those multiple plants, will be able to rely on one standard, harmonized, qualified procedure to execute a certain activities. Mm-hmm. And that's what it looks like.
Yeah.
I know I'm stealing your slide, but that's what it looks like.
Go ahead, John.
He's in a factory floor, all right? He's wearing a head-mounted display. This one is called an HoloLens, all right? And by the way, a HoloLens is military grade, is certified. You can walk, literally walk, on the factory floor because you see through the lens. It's like a pair of glasses, all right? But it's a bit tinted. So, and he walks on the factory floor and he hits buttons saying, okay, next step to start that machine. So he's gonna play the little arrow, next. That's pretty easy. But at some point in time, you'll see people in the factory doing this. That might look weird a little bit, but the person is essentially starting the equipment that is responsible for at 6 o'clock in the morning. So we will save, probably, we have client that saves 45 to 50 minutes, not a lot, 45 to 50 minutes every morning starting up an equipment, all right? Well, 45, 50 minutes times 7 lines times 6, 7, 10, 20, 30 factory plant is a lot of chicken pate. It's a couple of pallets. And for VP of operation and CEO and CFOs and CIO is a great return. Up to you, Nick.
So Jean explained very well what it looks today. But the real challenge for us and what we've learned from working with our first clients is that companies lack the time and resources to translate their textual manual knowledge to the 3D assets. And our CFIN project aims to solve exactly that problem. What we want to do is to automate the capture of knowledge of our expert people, of our Jean-Guys that are on the floor with those same HoloLens classes. And so what we seek to do is to say to Jean-Guy, the next time you're going to start up that line, you're going to wear this helmet on your head. It's going to capture the scan of your environment, so to have a context. It's going to capture a video feed of what you're doing. It's going to capture the position of your head and your hands. And what we essentially get is a ghost of Jean-Guy doing his task that we've digitalized and paronized for the future and the long term. And so in that way, we liberate the resources of the enterprise to create that content, and we don't disturb the production line and the value-added work that Jean-Guy is doing on a daily basis. So this is very critical to us, and we think this is the way to go to improve our product and make it more widely adopted. If we dive in a bit into the technical of this project, there's going to be 2 main parts to the project. The first one is technological development, and the other one is going to be the deployment at our partner client, Saint-Hubert, based out of Quebec. First, what we're going to want to do is to integrate the voice recognition and tools of speech to text. So again, we're going to be working with IBM and watsonx technology to translate essentially the audio that we have in the videos to text. Once that is done, we're going to be moving to that second part where we're going to use natural language processing, a form of AI, that's going to understand that text and segment our video, our instruction automatically. And what we're going to get in the end is a pre-assembled SOP, or standard operating procedure, that has already been built, segmented, and is ready to be deployed on the factory floor without any involvement from engineers, experts, just the knowledge that we took out of the head of Jean-Guy. Once that development will be done, we're going to go and test it, validate it, deploy it on the factory floor in a real-life environment, again, with Saint-Hubert. And this is going to lead us to improvements and better the technology. And finally, we talked a bit on this. There's a lot of data being captured, and we want to value this data. So what we're going to do is build bridges, interfaces with learning management systems that are currently being used by enterprise to go and take that data that's on the floor and provide instant feedback, real-time data for companies to take more insightful decisions in their processes.
So, corporate memory. You know, lots of recipes, a lot of instructions are secrets of companies. And though this knowledge, those secrets, sometimes resides on a piece of paper, Post-it, everywhere, not structured. We feel that is a best practice for a company to centralize that into one place, secure, highly confidential, so that the right person can access the right information. Second, we talked about it, Jean-Guy is our go-to guy, you know. There's a Jean-Guy or Steve. Is there a Jean-Guy in the room? No, I hope not. Okay. But this transfer of knowledge, we have clients that has a lot of turnover in their factory. And new people that are coming to work in this factory are not necessarily from native Ontario or native Quebec or native Canada. They're coming from all over the world. They don't necessarily speak the language. It's not the same culture. It's not the same way of working, you know. So I think we can help Jean-Guy transfer his knowledge to those people, you know, in a way that we do it without influence from a cultural point of view or from a language point of view. It's very systematic. There's no place for interpretation. You know, when the lens says turn the knob, well, you just turn the knob. That's it. And this whole process of capturing the data is one aspect that is difficult to convert paper. You remember the slide, paper to electronic? Capturing takes a lot of time. Entering all those procedures takes a lot of time. So by doing and automating the whole content creation, essentially. So knowledge capture is essentially creating the content automatically. That's what it does. It saves a lot of time. And all this might seem very difficult to use, but one of the core value of our platform is that me, Julie, can use the platform. This is like using PowerPoint. It's extremely easy to use so that almost anybody within a company can use the platform and create content. Some of the stats, we've noticed around 50% of reduction in what we call job shadowing. So Jean-Guy that doesn't have time, you know, we reduce his time by 50%, you know, shadowing someone to show him how to use a machine. Obviously, lots of error. You know, we talked about recalls, we talked about, you know, difficulties, bad information, whatever. About 80% of the information, 80% in reduction of potential errors in, you know, a label, because the person did the right step to set up the machine at the right moment. So all the information is well done at a precise moment. And obviously, maximize the utilization of the equipment. Because our target market, by the way, that's something I forgot to say. Obviously, we're aiming at the food industry, pharma industry, manufacturer, but we're also looking forward to propose our solution to the OEM that manufacture the equipment, all right? So that one day, this OEM that ships his equipment, ships it with all the procedures on how to set it up, how to maintain the machine at one point of time, and so on and so forth, all right? That's a humongous market for us.
Mm-hmm. A good example would be the people at Candrai. When you start shipping out your machines,
Et voilà.
So just to finish off, we are seeing tremendous momentum. Our plan for the next years is to expand outside of Quebec. And with the successful completion of this project, we want to grow a network of partner and clients in the agro-food network. So if you have potential leads today, it will be a pleasure to talk with you guys. And finally, we're starting to raise a funding round. So it's a seed round that we're preparing. And with this momentum, we want to accelerate our growth. We want to go and get the resources to accomplish those goals and those dreams. And finally, we want to dive in and continue on the integration of AI. We see tremendous potential on that side. Jean touched point on generative AI, being able to converse with the SOPs, with the intelligence, is what we aim to integrate into the platform. So thank you very much for your time today, and have a great day.